All right, folks, my name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show. Do yourselves a favor. Go to justinformed.com, become a member of a social media site that doesn't steal your data, doesn't sell your privacy. justinformed.com. Yeah, people. All right. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Tim Black once again. We're here. No Sellouts edition. And believe me, guys, I was about to take the night off. I got to be up early. I got to go do a shoot in the morning. But more than that, after I spent the better part of today looking over what happened with the Covington boys and Nathan Phillips and some of you who have jobs and lives and things going on where you're not strapped to your social media accounts, not tied to it, not bound by social media, right? You may not even know what I'm talking about. Right? What I'm talking about is something that occurred over the weekend that turned, not turned, that's not even a good way to put it, that erupted into an atom bomb, a nuclear bomb, nations-ending bomb, right? World-ending, cancel Christmas, and all foreseeable future Christmases type of event. All right? So here we are, guys. Like, I'm going to try to get through this and try to give everybody what I've discovered, what I've been able to dig out from the situation. And to the best of my ability, I want to do it as quickly as I can do it. I know that people, they got things to do. And some of you probably want this, I guess, you know. They wanted me to get to the bottom of this. They wanted me to sort of eradicate myself, extricate myself from the debris because I tweeted about it. And because I, too, thought there was more to this story than there was. I screwed up. I screwed up because I thought this was a real story. I thought this was something to really talk about. But turns out it may be something to talk about after all. Turns out there may be a good reason to talk about this story. But before I do that, let me show you this one clip because I want to make sure this is seared into the brains of everyone watching. And I would like for you to share this. Even if you got to take this video and clip it out, make a little clip, take a little part of it, do some video editing, you can do it for free. Download a free tool or take a trial and use the tool and, you know, try it out. Because I'm about to play a video for you that's so damn important, guys. It's more important than this whole story I'm going to cover about damn Nathan Phillips, I can tell you that. This video clip I'm about to play for you may save countless, millions of Americans a lot of fucking grief. A lot of grief. And here it is.
You're also Indian American, and I'm just curious.
Indeed.
What's the best? How do you describe yourself?
Did you read my book? How do I describe myself? I describe myself as a proud American. That's how I describe myself.
You're an American woman, but you're also Indian American, and I'm just curious.
Indeed.
What's the best? How do you describe yourself?
Did you read my book? How do I describe myself? I describe myself as a proud American. That's how I describe myself.
See, what I want people to do is be able to look at Kamala Harris here on the screen. I want you to be able to look at her, make sure it's not Tim Black saying it, you know, because, you know, Tim Black, he worked for CNN. That's who he worked for. Yeah, you know. He didn't last week, but now he does all of a sudden because he got a story. He believes some stuff. But this is so important because we good? Okay, you can hear me? It's so important that people hear this because I don't want Kamala Harris framing herself as a black person for this whole damn election. You just heard her say she ain't black. Black people, sorry. Or congratulations. Yeah, congratulations. She ain't you. You not her. She didn't grow up like you. She don't relate to you. She don't understand you. She ain't never fought for you. She could care less about you. Please, grab it now. No matter how painful it is, sometimes it's good to hear the stuff you don't want to hear. And digest it, ingest it, feel whatever kind of way about it you want to feel about it, and then move on. White people, don't look at her and think you looking at me, or my sister, or my cousin, or my wife, or my mama, or my auntie. Don't look at her and think, oh, this is going to make up for something. Oh, this is good. This is good for equality. Let black people know we really love them. Obama was no fluke. Don't you do that. She just said she ain't me. She didn't grow up like me. She Indian and Jamaican. Why people continue to call this woman African American, I don't understand it. If you didn't grow up in the United States, if you didn't grow up watching Soul Train, if you didn't watch Bill Cosby's show and think, dang, one day I hope I can get married and we can have a house like that. We ain't got to be living in poverty like we living. Damn, it sucks being poor. If you wasn't black and grew up like that, oh, good thing there's some black people on the show. Wow, black people. I hope 30 years from now he don't end up getting locked up for rape or nothing. Seriously, guys, I want this to be seared into the brains of everybody watching this show right now. Kamala Harris is a cop. I'm serious. Because what's going to happen is this statement's going to come back and keep coming back, and she's going to try to tap dance and walk around it. But right there, you got it. Dead to rights. So give it up for that. And thank you, Charlie Peach, for sending it to me. I would have missed it. Yeah, baby. I'm sure I would have missed it because I'd have been too busy worrying about this other crap. I've been too busy worried about this story here, about these kids, about how horrible and how this Native American was treated. So anyway, let's jump to that story, guys. Let me jump to it because that's what you're really here for, right? That's what people want to see. They want to know about this story, and I got it for you. I did a lot of digging for it. A lot of digging around. All right, so, oh, that's nice. Okay. Why don't I have my thumbnail? The thumbnail is what we need to start out with. So as I was stating earlier, there was a group of students wearing Make America Great Again hats who were criticized for taunting musician Nathan Phillips, surrounding him and during and chanting, "Build a wall," or so they said. So that's what they were saying. They were saying that was what was happening. They were telling us over. They were telling us in this picture. Here goes the picture. Damn it. They were saying that this incident, you've seen this picture, right? Of this, of the white kids in the white hat and the Make America Great hats, and the Native American gentleman here, and they were treating him so badly. They were disrespecting him. They were taunting him. They were doing all these things to this man. They weren't respecting that he was a veteran, and that he is an elder, and that he is an activist, a tribesman, an indigenous person, and this, by goodness gracious, this all occurred in our nation's capital over the weekend, and that's what took place. Footage of the confrontation involving Mr. Phillips, a veteran of the Vietnam War, and an elder of Nebraska's Omaha tribe was shared online by organizers of an Indigenous Peoples March that also took place on Friday. Okay. So as I read about this, I think it was Friday when I heard about it, maybe Saturday when I spoke about it. When I say spoke about it, I tweeted about it. I had been contacted. I was DM'd a couple of times by different people about this story. And you know me with my vast staff of people that work for me. You know, this big crew I got of paid employees, meaning zero. I tweeted out that these people should apologize to this Native American man, that they shouldn't have John and cheered and jeered at him, or they shouldn't have taunted him. They should apologize. And that all the MAGA community should ask them to apologize. I didn't tweet you should dox the kids. I didn't tweet that the kids need to be punched. I didn't tweet that the kids need to go to jail. I didn't tweet that the kids need to get kicked out of school. I tweeted that these kids should apologize. And that's not how you treat people. Something you would kind of think would be kind of reasonable, but not in this country. It's not reasonable to tell these white kids in the MAGA hats that they need to respect this man. Even though that's what I would tell my kids, whether they agree with him or not, whether they wanted to hear his music or not, whether they thought he was good at what he was doing or not. Did he put his hands on you? No. Why didn't you walk away? That's the first thing that I was taught. I was taught worse than that. Okay, I was taught, oh, you were standing around, it was some stuff going down, you didn't walk away? You didn't walk away? Come here. See, that's how I was taught, but we know, me saying that the white kids should have just left the situation alone, let the man go by, don't taunt the man, none of that. That was very unreasonable. So to all the people out there who are so pissed off that I believe that kid, this child right here, this young man right here, based on what I see, that this young man is mocking him, because that's what it looks like. I didn't say he was spitting on the man. I didn't say he was hurling racial epithets. I didn't say that he was assaulting the man. I didn't say he was badgering the man. I didn't say he was being racist towards the man. I said he was mocking the man, you know, like making fun of the man. And, you know, I don't know where I would have got the idea that these kids were making fun of this man. Oh, my God, where did Tim Black get an idea that the children, maybe the children were being, you know, being less than nice to this man? Where could I have got that?
I'm so tired already.
Huh. Now that's them mocking the girl. My bad. Yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe I saw that clip where the young lady was like, let me get away from these kids. These kids are mocking me. They're mocking her. She's like, I'm going to get out of here. Play it one more time. Were they screaming MAGA? Were they screaming? I'm sorry.
MAGA. I'm so tired already.
Totally disrespectful, totally unreasonable. Totally unreasonable for me to believe that kids that are unsupervised, who are yelling at people passing by, may say things that they shouldn't say. Maybe need to act more respectful. Maybe need to be under supervision of adults. Oh, no, that's crazy talk. Crazy, crazy talk, Tim Black. Crazy talk. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, like I stated, I'm wrong. I was wrong. There was no way, there was nothing that these kids had done that would ever give a person the impression that maybe they were less than on their P's and Q's, being out of town, looked to me to be unsupervised, and looked to be unsupervised, that I should be able to say in a tweet, hey man, they need to apologize. Why are they acting like that? But then there was this clip that was released that gave me the impression that maybe the young people acted out of line. was that. Maybe it was this clip I saw that would give me the impression that maybe the kids are not the worst people on the planet, which I never said they were the worst people on the planet. But folks, it did appear. If you looked at this clip, no, you don't know why they were dancing. I have no idea why they're dancing, but it doesn't look like it's a dance that everybody's taking part in. I mean, including the Native American guy. It didn't seem like it was a planned thing where he's playing for them to dance. It seemed like they were mocking him. That's how it looked to me. I mean, I don't know these kids. I don't know I didn't know Nathan Phillips until this story broke. I don't know the guy, but it just seemed that he was doing something that was cultural. And I don't know even know what he was saying. I hope he was saying everything he was saying was cool. I don't know. But it just looked like the kids were having a good time at his expense. Is that a fair assumption to make? Once again, let's make sure we see it, make sure everybody gets it, because people said that was unfair to think the children weren't behaving well when they saw this. Now, give it up for that. Now, okay, that's what I thought. I thought these children, I'm sorry, I had to check, make sure my mic was back. Yeah, I thought that these young people were acting a little out of line, that they seemed unruly. So yeah, I kind of joined in and said they should have behaved better. And I apologize for that, because I have no right to tell white kids how they should behave, or how Trump supporters should get down, or how MAGA supporters, people not even old enough to vote. They probably will be voting though, so they probably gonna be old enough in 2020. But yes, yes, I had no right to tell them how to behave, and I didn't know everything. I didn't know how they got there, what they ate for lunch. I didn't know what TV shows they watch. I didn't know these things. I didn't think I needed to know them. I thought it was a very lame story of some kids having fun at this guy's expense. And me being sensitive to Native Americans caused me to be concerned. And then there was him, the Native American person on Nathan Phillips on CNN, making some claims that didn't seem totally impossible. Check them out. Shit. Where is him on CNN? I'll try and see if I can find it real quick, guys. I got like 20 clips. Way more clips than I want to have.
When I was there and I was standing there and I seen that group of people in front of me and I seen the angry faces and all of that, I realized I had put myself in a really dangerous situation, you know. It was like, here's a group of people who were angry at somebody else, and I put myself in front of that, and all of a sudden I'm the one who's all that anger and all that wanting to have the freedom to just rip me apart, you know. That was scary. That and I'm a Vietnam Times veteran, and I know that mentality of there's enough of us, we can do this.
Then Phillips describes the tense moments now being replayed over and over again online when a young man got right in his face. Watch.
When I started going forward and that massive groups of people started separating and separating and moving aside to allow me to move out of the way or to proceed, this young fella put himself in front of me and wouldn't move. And so I could, if I took another step, I would be putting my person into his presence, into his space, and I would have touched him, and that would have been the thing that the group of people would have needed to spring on me.
CNN's Sarah Seidner asked Phillips what bothered him the most about Friday's confrontation. Here are his thoughts.
Fear, not for myself, but fear for the next generations, fear where this country's going, fear for those youths, fear for their future, fear for their souls, their spirit, their what they're going to do to this country. What they were doing wasn't making America great. It was just tearing down the fabric that was, that the whole idea, the spirit of America, that wasn't it, you know.
So I watched that clip and I got in there, guys. I really screwed up by listening to that shit. Yeah, man, sometimes you screw up, you know? That's kind of what I guess that's what I get for calling BuzzFeed fake news. I just called them fake news the other day. I guess it came back to haunt me. Because luckily, people on Twitter, after, you know, don't get me wrong, a lot of people were like, "Go, Tim, I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying." But then there were a few people on Twitter were like, "Tim, that's usually just, I don't know, take the truth and throw it in the trash can and then set the trash can on fire, then blow out the ashes and take them outside and bury them." Usually tries to get it right. This is horrible. This is not even the bad Tim display. This is unusual for Tim to be this bad. So he must not have saw the full-length video because, hell, man, it was being suppressed. You're right, I didn't see it. And someone didn't assume I saw it. They just assumed that they wanted to share it with me. So they shared with me a clip. And in that clip, oh, my God, guys, first of all, it took a long time to watch because it was an hour and 40-something minutes, right? Longer than the Bird Box, all right? But I decided to watch it because the way that people were responding, some people were talking like, "Well, is everybody lying? Like, what's up? Like, what was wrong?" You know? So then I watched that clip. I watched the clip of the full-length clip by some black Hebrew Israelites on the side who were filming, who were at this event, were at this location. They were filming the whole thing, and I got to see everything in context. And all of a sudden, the young kids in the MAGA hats, regardless of what I think about MAGA hats, doesn't matter. Truth is truth. No matter if I want to support Native Americans or Native peoples or indigenous peoples who I feel are of the most marginalized people on the planet, at least in American history, one of the most marginalized people. Even though I want to support them, doesn't mean every instance that they deserve my support in that way. Not based on what I saw. So that clip, I'm going to show you just a couple parts of it that really, really, really made me feel like, damn, what's wrong with Nathan? He's not telling the whole truth. Check this out. All right, so you better have this one. Here goes what really got me.
That's right, Gad. Look at Gad.
Let me try to get some context. This is Nathan Phillips. I'm sorry. Nathan Phillips. He said that the children approached him and surrounded him, but it was he who walked over to the young people. And I'm not going to try to say I can get into his mind, read his mind, know what he was thinking when he did it. I'm not even saying that he did it with animosity, but he did interject himself into the situation. They did not surround him. He walked into it, and here it is, okay?
Go ahead, what you say? That's right. Here come Gad. Here come Gad. Here come Gad. Look at our Make America Great Again hats. Look at the hats. Look at the hats.
And see, the thing about it was the kids aren't running over and surrounding them and making fun like, look at us, let's dance around, let's taunt the Native American man, let's make fun of him. That's not what happened here. And if that's what happened here, I would totally admit it. I would say it. I would call it out. I don't get a dime, a penny, a nickel, anything from saying the truth. Nothing do I get from saying it one way or calling it the other way. It would just be the truth. But that's not what happened. It's not what I saw. What I saw is what you're seeing right now. And for the first time, I saw it yesterday. And boy, did I feel like, damn, wish I could have that one back.
We ain't taking. Look, we not taking. Look at Gad. That's right, Gad. Look at Gad. Look at Gad not playing. He came to the rescue. Our elder right there. Look at him.
Now there are some people who have watched this video and they said, Tim, this not right. Don't take up for these kids right here. Why are you even trying to like explain what was going on? Well, my thing is this, guys. We got to try to keep it real. And I just don't feel, as I look at this clip the second time, now I'm not so certain that the kids were mocking him as much as I was certain of it earlier. Because now it looks like something most kids would probably do if someone walked up playing any type of music. They'd start dancing. Now, I'm not saying some of that dancing wasn't mocking. I'm not saying that some of it wasn't done to poke fun. But it's sort of a normal thing that kids will do if you walk up playing a drum. He walked up playing a drum. They didn't know him. They didn't know who he was. They weren't at an attraction where they're coming to see Native people play drums, and this guy just shows up playing a drum. Might seem a little funny to some people. But okay, we'll let it keep going.
Yeah, y'all better not touch him. Y'all better not touch him. Hey, now they gonna join in, huh?
No.
Gad put that thing down, don't he?
Gad, he calmed all these spirits right down.
Gad's serious with it, ain't he?
Gad's serious with it. He calmed all these spirits right down. It's spiritual.
Now, this is the part, one of the parts that I wanted to speak on, because I do feel that it's very possible that when Nathan Phillips walked into this crowd, he did want to calm the situation down. Because before he was there was a conversation, a back and forth, but it was mostly a forth, right? It wasn't really a back and forth. The Hebrew Israelite guys, the black guys that you hear talking over the video, well, they were saying a lot of mocking things to the kids, to the teenagers in the MAGA hats. They're saying a lot of stuff. A lot of it was homophobic, or, using the F word. A lot of it was about white people, and a lot of it was just like racist stuff, racist language, hurling insults at the kids, at their nationality, their origin, history, all types of stuff. And some of it mixed in with some points that, you could say are historical, okay? But it was all delivered in a very, you are horrible white devil way that these Hebrew Israelites tend to do. And if you're from a major city and you've been around this, you probably heard it yourself before. And don't get me wrong, the Hebrew Israelites, they went after black people too. They went after a black guy who was walking by who didn't agree with what they were saying. They went after one of the black kids that was with the white kids. Like, they just tore everybody a new ass hole. And they went in. So anyway, so I'm not saying that Nathan Phillips didn't have good intentions. I think he did have good intentions. That's one of the things I don't like, is that I think when he walked over, he was trying to calm down the situation, but he misjudged the situation. But it did not appear to me to be a group of violent people when he walked over. Let's keep going.
That's right.
All these spirits was getting demonic. He calmed all that down.
Say that again, Ken.
All these spirits was getting demonic. God came through and calmed all these spirits down.
That's right.
All these spirits got calmed down.
And Gad stepped in front of us too, huh?
Right, God stepped in front.
Look how they mocking. Serious mockery. With they Make America Great Again hats. Serious mockery. Look at that.
America will be destroyed by nuclear thermal destruction.
That's right. Mockery. You had a native rally with Make America Great Again hats.
Well, see, that's the thing. See, that's where so much is wrong here. That's where a lot is wrong. These teenagers from the Covington Catholic school, they weren't at a Native American event. They were at a anti-abortion, pro-life event and they just happened to be in the vicinity because they were told to meet here to catch their ride to the hotel or home or whatever. So no, they weren't attending an indigenous people's rally. They just happened to be at the same place at the same time. So the Hebrew Israelite guys, who may have had even more hostility because they felt that these kids showed up, that they were there, and they just said it, they were there, they felt that the kids were there to mock the native people when they weren't. So they already had in their head that these kids are there under bad pretenses, under bad motives. And then they got on the MAGA hats, and I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people who don't support Donald Trump, a lot of them don't support him because they think that Donald Trump has bad policies or racist tendencies, and that MAGA hat demonstrates something that is negative towards black and brown people. Whether you agree with it or not, you do realize that some people think that. Okay, so you put this together in the Hebrew Israelites. First of all, a lot of them just say some foul stuff generally anyway. Then they're there to support the indigenous people. That's why they're there. They support the indigenous people. They went to the indigenous rally. And they think these kids are there to hate on the indigenous people and mock them. And the kids got on MAGA hats. So it's a bad situation. And that's why I think the real aggressor, I feel like the instigator of this event, the bad instigator, the person who, the instigator of this, The bad influence, the group that was really who deserved ridicule would be the black Hebrew Israelites for their conduct. For them, first of all, even addressing kids, man, you had to know these are kids, not adults that you're talking to. What gives you the authority to just yell at kids? Now, of course, I would have told my kids, walk away. Why are you standing around taking that abuse? Why are you listening to that garbage? But still, I fought the Israelites for doing that. Now, I think that's pretty much, that's what sealed it for me. That's what made me change my opinion of the event. That's what made me say, okay, what the media put out is not a full depiction. What Nathan Phillips said, I can't ride with that anymore. I don't see him. He don't look afraid to me. He got people with him. He got the Israelites guys. The Israelite guys were just saying, don't touch him. And I heard heard the kids say, don't touch him. No one touched him and no one threatening him. So earlier in that video on CNN where Nathan Phillips is saying he was in fear, I didn't see fear. I just didn't. If I saw it, I called it out. Yep.
Goddamn dog. Get rid of your lice.
Y'all sound like a bunch of dogs. A bunch of hyenas. Yeah, a bunch of dogs. A bunch of hyenas. But see, there's a reason why. There's a reason why y'all outnumber us and y'all keep y'all distance. There's a reason for that. You know why? Because you don't see the angels around us. You don't see angels around us. You couldn't touch us if you wanted to. You couldn't touch us if you wanted to. You don't see the angels around us. You worship blasphemy. We got angels that are blasphemous for us. You don't see stuff.
Hey, these fucking wild,
Look at this foolie. Get no more than 5 verses in the Hebrew language. Look at this here. You serious?
Put him wrong! Hey, listen.
This is the devil.
All right. So, that part there is I thought that was strange at first, right? I thought that was probably strange the way the kid came down and, took off his shirts and stuff. And I'm like, wow, they get to act up. They get to just act buck wild, don't they? Where's the chaperone guy? Then I found out, right, that this is what this school does. They have a lot of chants that the school does, that the kids do. And they do their sporting events. They got like school chants. And that's what they were doing. And that one you just saw was called the sumo. You know, the sumo when they, like they're sumo wrestlers, that's what they're doing. And of course the black Israelite guys didn't know that's what they were doing. They thought, the hell is wrong? What kind of stuff are they smoking? You know? What kind of ritual is this? You know? So anyway, yeah, that's when it just further solidified my position that I think that this is fully, totally blown out of proportion. This was a non-story. It became a story because I guess somebody wanted to make some money. And this was a good way to make money. And people would click on it. People would share it. People would spread it. But this was a non-factor. This was a non-event or uneventful situation turned into something big for profit. No one was hurt in this event. No one was jailed. No one was assaulted. Nothing happened. Some words were exchanged. That's it. I mean, pretty much when you got that many people in one place, people of totally different denominations and beliefs all there with what appeared to be no supervision, no law enforcement in anywhere to be seen in the videos, and then you have nothing happen except exchange of words, and us sitting at home on social media a day or two after the event are losing our collective shit about it, like, oh my God, it's the end of the world, oh my God, how disrespectful, oh, let's make a bunch of hashtags and freak out. Well, I felt stupid for being a part of it, and I felt silly that it kept on going. I mean, compared to a lot of the other stories that I cover, this is something very light being turned into something big. Now, of course, there's a side where you say, well, because I'm black, I always have to think, well, could black kids do this? And would it seem threatening if a bunch of black kids that meant, well, shit, I don't even need to finish the sentence, do I? Yeah, don't need to finish that sentence. You know, was it 100 white kids yelling? You think that would have been no one would have, everybody would have felt safe? I don't think they would have. Would everyone had the same reaction that these kids are just being kids? I don't think they would have. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to pile on and do the wrong thing, because I think that the wrong thing would happen if there was different people involved. That doesn't exonerate me if I contribute to it. So anyway, so now we're at that point, guys. We're at the point where we see the best and the worst, or maybe the silliest that the kids could be. And then somebody sent me this. They sent me this. They said, Tim, not so fast, brother. You're sitting here, you're giving these kids a pass. Haven't you seen this? And it says, here's a 2015 photo of the Covington Catholics fine. Upstanding student body, clad in blackface, at one of their basketball games. The kid harassing the black player is also flashing the white power sign. This little doodad right here had been retweeted over 7,000 times. And then I had to look at it. Then I had to look into it. And turns out, guys, well, it turns out that this is called the blackout. And they do this in some of their games, where they try to black out their competition. And all the kids will wear black. Some of them paint themselves black. It's not to mock blackface. It's to, like, be a part of the blackout. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm not saying it's smart. I'm not saying it's sensitive. What I'm saying is that's what they do. I don't think they do it because black kids are going to come play basketball against them. I think they do it to try to get in the head of the players that they're playing against. So as much as I don't like white people dressing up in blackface, I don't believe that that's what this was about. I don't believe that that's what they have blackout for when they play basketball. Blackout games. I think they do it because it's a tradition. Whether it's right or wrong to do, I don't think it's smart to do, but I don't think that's the purpose. But you can see how it plays into a narrative that will piss people off, right? Whether you agree with it or not, can you see that there are some people who saw this tweet would think maybe this was racist? Probably some people don't, because, you know, they don't see anything wrong with dressing up as black people. Hey, Megyn Kelly just said, hey, it's fine to wear blackface. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with wearing blackface, imitating black people for like Halloween, like they're a character. I don't see nothing wrong with that. So there's some people who don't see anything wrong with it. But even those people kind of know that there are people who think there's something wrong with it. So anyway, I mean, obviously, if it got retweeted 7,000 times, there are people who thought this was wrong. But it was a fabrication. It was sort of like, it was a setup. Because the person who tweeted that, did look to see, and I'm not saying they did it on purpose, but they did look to see what that blackout stuff was about. So I got that one right. All right, so now that I've figured out, hey man, I'm on the path to redemption, so to speak. I'm now calling this thing straight. I see where I made my mistakes. I see where the media definitely either made a mistake or just didn't give a damn. I see where people made a lot of money, and we do this often. It happens often. And damn it, I fell for it. And damn it, let's clear it up. And then I started looking around to see what some of the conservative folk were saying. Yeah, let's go see what other people are talking about. And I'm going to tell you something. I ran into some horrendous content on YouTube about this event. Horrendous. That basically, in my opinion, undermines everything that people could have learned from it. Because there aren't good guys and bad guys. See, that's what we get it wrong. We think good guys and bad guys. We never think that both sides need a lot of work. Sometimes that's true too. Check this out. Here goes a commentator by the name of Stephen Molyneux. Stephen Molyneux. He's been on Louder with Steve Crowder, Joe Rogan's show, Dave Rubin's show, a lot of huge YouTube channels and podcasts. He's been on them. Here he goes talking about Native Americans and their IQs.
So, yeah, there's no evidence that, oh yeah, this is indigenous lands, Phillips says. We're not supposed to have walls here. We never did. Well, you know, some of the indigenous population in North America practiced cannibalism. Some practiced slavery, so, yeah, I guess it was kind of rough when the Europeans came over, and that wasn't quite as easy to achieve anymore. But, and look, I mean, Native Americans, in all seriousness, like Native Americans, have an IQ in the mid-80s. And that means that there's almost no possibility that they're going to end up integrating on the whole, and it is a permanent problem, and throwing money at it just makes it worse, and so on, right?
So, I'm sorry. I hope that people heard that. Let me play that a little bit. Let me play a little bit more of it, just over again, so people can definitely hear it.
And look, I mean, Native Americans, in all seriousness, like Native Americans, have an IQ in the mid-80s. And that means that there's almost no possibility that they're going to end up integrating on the whole, and it is a permanent problem, and throwing money at it just makes it worse, and so on, right?
Then I heard him say this.
You see, but the whole point... So Phillips was notably in another confrontation with Eastern Michigan University students who were dressed as Native Americans for a themed party in April 2015. So it could be that he's an activist. Could be. Could be that he's an activist. In a video that circulated social media Saturday afternoon, Phillips tearfully recalled the incident, saying he heard people around him chanting, "Build that wall," and said he wished that the man who had confronted him would, quote, put that energy into making this country really great. No, see, he's got a hat on saying make America great again, so he's putting energy into that, and he's putting energy into attempting to protect the lives of the unborn through pro-life activities. So, yeah, he's, you know, in his mind, he's, and perhaps even in reality, he is working to make this country really great. Now, the fact that people have said that the young boys were chanting, "Build that wall," well, from what some people have reported, nobody can ever hear them saying, "Build that wall." They've been doing a school chant, right? So you know how this thing where you get arrested for driving while black? Well, now you're getting doxxed and getting death threats for chanting while white, because that automatically means Nazi, right?
Not only does Stephen, what's his damn name? Not only does Stephen calls the Native Americans low IQ, and he goes so far as to say, hey, being a white guy chanting is just like being a black guy driving while black. No one called him out on it.
face, right? Does that mean that you are now harassing this person? You're doing your own thing, right? So here are the boys. They're doing their own thing. They're completely segregated, so to speak, from the Native American people. They're doing their own thing. Oh, here's the guy, right? He's over here. Now here's the guy. See, this is the guy. He's got a drum. He's banging the drum, T-Rex style, and he's approaching. Oh, look at that. He's approaching the young boys, and then he gets in their face and he's banging a drum in their face. But you see, now this means that they're harassing him because they're not immediately groveling and apologizing and throwing white guilt money at him and apologizing for smallpox and you name it, right? So he approached them, and there was examples of racist chanting against whites, like whites go back to Europe and all this kind of stuff in the crowd that was around.
Stephen Molyneux is a horrible individual on so many levels. I mean, we saw the clips. It didn't look like Nathan Phillips was attacking the young people. He wasn't mocking the young people. He was playing his drum for whatever reason. I think it was to chill things out. I think he was trying to send a message of something, thinking that there was some magic in his drum, maybe. Whether you agree with it or not, it doesn't appear that it was done with malice intents. And then for Stephen Molyneux to say that there was one guy of the indigenous group who was in a conversation with a white student, one of the students, and they were having a back and forth, and he said something about Europe, this is our land, you don't own this land, you can go back to Europe. Stephen Molyneux now lies to his almost 1 million subscribers and says they were chanting something about go back to Africa. I mean, go back to Europe. Isn't that what he just said? It was just said. Isn't that it?
Smallpox and you name it, right? So he approached them, and there was examples of racist chanting against whites, like whites go back to Europe and all this kind of stuff.
That's not what we heard, right? Did anyone hear racist chants of go back to Europe? There was one guy having a private conversation with a teenager, where it looks like a heated conversation between two individuals, where he said that white people can go back to Europe, and that's not a good thing to say. I don't agree with him saying it. It ain't cool. But it's not a chant, and he knows that. But no one called him out. No one's running him off Twitter. No one's threatening his ethics or saying he's unethical and a slime ball. In fact, his video, thousands and thousands of ups. Thousands and thousands of thumbs up. Like 70,000 thumbs up. Because no one gave a shit if he was right or wrong. And none of them went to go watch the video to find out he was wrong. Even though he's playing the video and you don't hear, why did he play these people making these go back to Europe chants? Because there was never a back to Europe chant. Why not play it? Instead of tell it, why not just play it? Because there wasn't one. But they didn't care. They didn't care. Okay, and to seal the deal on Stephen Molyneux, they make me lose all faith in people with audiences on YouTube and how horrible they are. He said this about white people and how America treats white people.
Be shown already, but look, this is the reality. Everybody knows this. The reason I don't believe any of this stuff happened at all is because every white person knows that in any confrontation between yourself and particularly a black person, a Hispanic person, a Native American person, in any conflict between a white and a non-white, the white is going to be assumed to be not just at fault, but racist and bigoted, and you risk death threats and school expulsion and so on. Every white person knows this. Like, we get this. We understand this danger, right? You understand that everybody's life can be destroyed by one conflict interaction with a non-white person. So the idea that these kids have no idea about this and they're just going to start chanting racial slurs with cameras around, I mean, come on. White people are not, well, I shouldn't say. Oh, let's just...
Hold on. Stephen Molyneux just said, I just want to make sure I got this right. He just says He just said that white people know better than to behave badly because of the danger of non-white people filming them. Like I said, guys, his video got thousands of thumbs up. And see, this is what I'm saying. No matter how straight I call it, no matter what I try to do, no matter what you try to do, we got people like this who keep on succeeding and they lie their faces off. He told thousands of people that white people know better than to act out or to act racist. Look, guys, with every video of white people doing something racist, it's never a hidden camera. It's always a video of somebody with a camera, and they do it anyway. That's not a reason to say that you know this didn't happen, because it's not true. Now, in this particular case, I didn't see the young people acting racist. I saw them acting like kids. You know, typical damn kids. But that doesn't mean that he could just make a blanket statement that white people never act out because they know the evil black people will ruin their lives.
Say it is a dangerous, can be a life-destroying risk. Like these kids are getting death threats. They've been doxxed. You got Kathy Griffin at 2 o'clock in the morning tweeting the demand to dox these kids. Their families have been getting death threats. They're facing school expulsion. Everybody knows that. Everybody who's a white person knows that you have to be incredibly careful in conflicts with non-white people because of this chance of it going viral. Like that woman who was flying to South Africa who made a bad joke about AIDS. She lands, her life is destroyed for years. Everybody knows this. White people understand this mass social media lynch mentality that will give you death threats, force you to move, destroy your life, destroy your source of income, ruin your future. Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that black people will destroy your life, that the black people will lynch you because white people are the real victims. This is just like Stephen Molyneux is not the only person who had this type of rhetoric, but he is one of the worst. Oh my God, white people are in danger now because people got smartphones and put the footage out. So that makes white people be in danger. Horrible stuff, guys, horrible stuff. So he said a lot of things that I would think he couldn't come back from. He said Native Americans are low IQ. They can't assimilate into society, so it's just wasted. They're a waste of money. He said that Native Americans, white people are the real victims. That's who the real victims are in America, white people. He said white people need to feel bad for natives. Then he lied about there being a go back to Europe chant by the natives. And then he said that he compared white guys chanting in public as driving while black. I wonder how many videos Stephen Molyneux has done on black people driving while black. And since he says that white people get lynched, I wonder how many videos he's done about black people being lynched. Because I don't think he does those type of videos. But he will feign like white people are under so much attack. See, this is the type of thing that just infuriates the hell out of me. Because I know it's BS. And even though I feel that way, I'm not going to say that the children, the teenagers, were behaving incredibly bad. I just think they weren't behaving incredibly bad. I think the Hebrew Israelites were relying on false information and bad rhetoric, which they always had bad rhetoric, but they had bad assumptions, and they behaved very badly towards these kids. And I think Stephen Molyneux is a horrible individual. But you wouldn't know it, because he's very popular and has a lot of followers, and he gets a lot of viewership, and he lies like a rug. And his audience is fine with it. But then I saw this. We're not over, I saw this. Hey, Tim, I know it's got to be it, Tim.
Dog, get rid of your lice.
Y'all sound like a bunch of dogs. A bunch of hyenas.
So, goodness gracious. Is this it? was, man. Don't touch it. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. I mean, they said don't touch him.
And all of a sudden, I'm the one.
I had one more clip. I think it was Glenn Beck. I don't know what I did with my Glenn Beck clip, but it was horrible. Glenn Beck was comparing. God, I wish I could play that for you. God, I know I won't do it justice if I just tell you what it was. I mean, I know Glenn Beck's a piece of garbage. But I know he was this bad. Like, I know he does a lot of phony, but I had no idea how far he'd go and how he was like, he just really doesn't give a damn how bad he is, Just one of those guys who just doesn't care. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Here it goes. I found it. Let's try this.
Have to watch the entire video. I'll send it out. I'll tweet it out. You have to watch the entire video of what happened with these kids from Covington. It is an outrageous lie. And yes, I know, media, it's Martin Luther King Day. And so you're going to take my words and twist them. But I stand by my words. These kids, from every indication that I have seen, behaved exactly like Martin Luther King would want kids to behave.
You got to give it up for the level of bullshittery. I mean, come on, guys. You gotta, you don't gotta like what he's saying, but you gotta admit, this guy's got a lot of balls. He doesn't appear to have them, but he's got some. As big as this room, on Martin Luther King's birthday, he's saying that these kids behave like Martin Luther King. Why? Because what'd they do? I mean, what did they do? I'm all down for sappy stuff that people do, and you go, okay, let's make a platitude up. Let's try to exaggerate what they did so people have a good feeling. But what did they do that was? Did they sacrifice? Did they get shot? They jump in front of a bullet, or they save a kitten from a tree? Did they feed the homeless? What did they do? Did they, start giving out shoes and coats? It's the wintertime. They saw some homeless people on the street. Did they chip in and buy some meals? What did they do, Glenn? What did they do that reminded you of Martin Luther King? What? I mean, hell. Show me what they did. I must have missed it.
They were kind in the face of people who were trying to...
Kind. He said they were kind. No, they just didn't do anything. They didn't want to fight those Hebrew Israelite assholes. Those guys are crazy. You don't want to fight the Hebrew Israelite assholes. So because you don't want to fight them and you don't fight them, that means you're MLK. I'm glad they didn't fight him, by the way. I'm glad they didn't fight him. But come on, to call them MLK for not fighting 5 guys with sticks. Is those guys, MLK, the Hebrew Israelite guys, got these big, long walking sticks, by the way. What are they supposed to do? Fight grown men on the street because they said mean things? No. They're supposed to ignore them and walk away, which they did. That's good, but let's not make it seem like this is an MLK moment. But see, this is what some people do. So when I had to hear all of the people saying, oh, the lefties suck, look at them overreacting. I didn't see them condemning Glenn Beck for amplifying what the kids did, like they just walk on water. Like they were mystical creatures. The kids are so great. They're like MLK. I don't think that's offensive at all. And here we go. And at the beginning, when he first started talking, what did he say? He said, I know that you're going to think this is wrong for me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I don't give a shit that you think it's wrong to say. I don't give a fuck if it hurts people's feelings, if it pisses people off, if it's seen as insensitive or co-opting of a legend of the civil rights movement. Even if I feel that way, or you feel that way, don't matter. I'm going to say it anyway. I could care less how it comes across, because I know there's a segment of society who will agree with anything I say that elevates these people over these people, and it'll work for them. Even though I will show no evidence that makes what I'm saying make any damn sense at all. But damn it, I'm Glenn Beck. Humiliated journalist, kinda. And this is what I do for a living. I cry, I lie, I gaslight. That's what I do. So guys, that is everything you need to know in a nutshell. I think that's everything. All right. Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, guys, the Covington boys are not the devil, and they did not behave in a devilish, evil, twisted way. At least nothing that I saw. This whole situation's been blown out of proportion. It was not a display of degenerate, racist, hellish behavior on behalf of the children at all. I didn't see that. I didn't see angels, though. I didn't see angels kiss from above. I just saw kids being kids, not being extremely sensitive, but being kids, basically. Am I defending them? No. I'm just telling you how I really saw it, what I saw. You disagree, you disagree. You see it another way, you see it another way. Maybe you see it another way. That's fine. Hey, I'm not going to judge how you see it. But based on what I saw, I didn't see any assault. I didn't see any battery. I didn't see any spitting. I didn't hear any N-words. I didn't hear any... What was it that they did that was so horrible? So no. I do believe the situations were blown out of proportion. I think the Glenn Becks blew it out of proportion. Big time. I think Stephen Molyneux and people who went down his road, which I hope there were very few people who did that, who started dragging out racist BS and ways to cover for the kids that were unnecessary when all you had to do is point out that kids didn't do anything wrong, instead of talking about Native Americans don't have any brains or they have low IQs and it's just like black people, we're getting treated like the blacks, But I don't want to give any respect to blacks who get treated that way. I just want to use black people's pain and say, hey, we get treated the same way. Look, see how we're getting treated? But when a black person say, hey, we're getting treated this way, you say, no, you're not. You're not getting treated that way. If you listen to people like Stephen Molyneux, black people aren't discriminated against. It's white people. And he said that in videos. He's actually said it. And he does real well with his content. The edited video, and it is edited because it doesn't show everything, paints a false narrative. It did. It painted a false narrative. And I think people, even if you had good intentions, you have to watch the whole video to understand that this whole thing was blown out of proportion, that they're only showing you things. What they're showing you is showing it for a reason. They want to elicit a certain reaction out of you. I fell for it initially. But I had great people who realized they're talking to one man show Tim Black, and they say, hey, let me let Tim know. He probably didn't see this because I don't think he could see this and then say that. Okay, show him. Okay, oh shit. And now we have to say something different. And that's what we're doing now. The instigators in this case are definitely, without equivocation, are the Hebrew Israelite guys. Those guys are the instigators of this whole thing. All right? Those guys were the ones who had the wrong interpretation of what was going on, had a narrative in their head of why the young people were there, totally off base, and hurling insults, to put it mildly. That's what they were doing. All right? Not good. The kids were wearing MAGA hats, and I think that was part of the reason why the Israelites treated them the way they did. But I did not see Nathan Phillips treat the children bad. I don't think he did. Did he stand close to the child? He did stand close, but I don't think he was threatening the child. The young man, I don't think he was threatening him, and I don't think the young man felt threatened, or he would have moved. Neither felt in fear, or they would have did something else. So the mom who's on the line, which I can understand she's upset about the articles, but the young man, Sandman, I think his name is, in the video, who's standing there smirking, well, his mom saying her son, this guy was beating the drum in her son's face, he didn't look to be bothered by it. Or he would have took a step back. He did nothing. He stood there, the guy played his drum, and then he stopped, and he walked away, and nothing happened. So this is an overblown situation for people to make money and divide us too and start a race war if they can. As long as they get paid from it, they don't really care. That's how I see it. Nathan Phillips was not a threat. There are people saying that Nathan Phillips is a bad guy, that he lied, that he exaggerated. I don't know, maybe it's possible. Like, cops say all the time how they feel threatened. Police officers get to say all the time that they feel threatened for their life. It'll be one of them and one other person. That person won't even have a gun. The police officer has a badge, a walkie-talkie, a gun, a vest, a stun gun, all this stuff. And they'll still say that they felt in fear of their life. I can't sit and say that I can't sit with a clean heart, right, and a clear conscience and say it's impossible that Nathan Phillips felt any type of fear. I just didn't see it, okay? But cops say they're in fear of their lives all the time, and people believe them. I'm just saying, they do. How many times people believe cops and say they're in fear of their life? It'll be a 12-year-old like, you know, I'm in fear of my life. Pow! I'm in fear. I'm scared. So, but I'm just proving a point. But no, I do not believe that Nathan Phillips was a threat. And I don't think the kid was intimidating him, and I don't think he was intimidating the kid. But overall, people, and it's all said and done, I think it was a bad optics for everybody involved. I think it was horrible. I think it just looked bad. And I think it just says something about our media, which we already knew. And I think it's good for us to relearn it, because I need to relearn it. We need to all relearn just how far media will go to make money. Slow news cycle. Got to make money. That's it. Shout out to everybody who sent me clips. I want to say thank you. I also want to say thank you to everybody who hit me up in words of encouragement, right? You know who you are, guys. I appreciate you with the words of encouragement. People who had my back. People who allowed me to get more information before they said, kill a messenger. I appreciate y'all. What else can I say, man? We got to do a better job, man. Someone said, Tim, what do you think would have happened if the Covington boys were black? And all I could say is, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. Black parents have been like, what you doing there? Why didn't you get your ass on the bus? Why didn't you get away from those people? And would have blamed the kids. And America would have blamed the kids, and we'd have moved on. That's what I believe would have happened. But I can only assume it because it didn't happen, right? That's when we know we'll really be an equal society. when America can jump to the conclusions about black kids and then the whole country come to their aid without them going to jail for, I don't know, how long did those kids go to jail that Donald Trump said should have been killed for a crime they didn't commit in New York? The Brooklyn Five or whatever. How long did they go to jail? All right, guys. All right, people. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. That's about all. I think that's enough. Goodness gracious, I got to be up tomorrow. I'm sure there are people with different takes on this situation. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one. Crazy. I try to speak the truth.
To get them to strike back. Read the quote from the Native American guy, who is a liar. He is a liar. And CNN should be ashamed and angry at him and angry at their producer before they ran to put him in a studio.
And I think CNN at least has reported accurately some of these things. It was Washington Post, right, was the first.
I know, media, it's Martin Luther King Day, and so you're going to take my words and twist them. But I stand by my words. These kids, from every indication that I have seen, behaved exactly like Martin Luther King would want kids to behave.